Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. All right, here we go. Second hour, kick it off right now on this Grind My Gears Tuesday. The Toys of Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday. What the heck is grinding your gears? You can let us know by hitting us up with a quick text on that Shoe Doctors bullpen line or join in on the video stream chat on our YouTube page. Don't forget to ring that bell and follow the YouTube page if you don't mind. We're going to get back to some more Brewers talk coming up here in a little bit as we get set for the doubleheader today. Brewers picking up a 4-3 victory yesterday. Brewers have a chance if they win these two, they'll already win the series. Take 3 out of 5, 5-game series here. Surveyor throwing out a question for the fine listeners out there. Morning, DK. I hope you and everyone listening had a wonderful Independence Day. I know I'm early with this, but am I wrong for saying today is the most important day on the Brewers schedule? Doubleheader against the Cardinals to possibly go up close to 8 games on the division. Maybe at the current point in time, I don't know. What do you guys think and gals think? What do you think? Let me know, and I'll relay it back to Surveyor. I want to talk a little football here. I want to do a little bit of a countdown. I want to do a little bit of a training camp countdown for the Packers. Top storylines, top things to watch as we get set for training camp that'll start 3 weeks from tomorrow. Some start earlier, obviously, but Packers' first practice will be 3 weeks from tomorrow. So we'll kind of do our little bit of a countdown and that. But Giannis, yesterday, it officially became official. Giannis, no longer a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. He is now with we're number 7 too for the Miami Heat. So number 7. Not going to see 34 dawning for the Miami Heat. It's going to be number 7. So that might be a little bit different to see that. Bobby Portis, I think, was at 95. He's going to wear for the Heat. But a long interview that that Giannis did with Jim Paschke that was released yesterday in video form. I'm not going to play the whole 30-some minute video, but you can go out there and check it and that. But I would say some of the highlights for me when I sat down and watched it was, well, there was a few things here. A lot of it was reflection, kind of looking back, where everything's at right now at this point in time, and it was really good. I mean, I don't think there was anything that was like earth-shattering, breaking, or stuff like that. Like, if you're gonna want to watch it, I mean, there's not going to be a whole lot of like, oh my God, this is actually what happened. But a couple of things is that I thought it was a good question from Jim Paschke. Used to be Bucks announcer, play-by-play guy. And it was a question that, remember with Favre and the whole retirement thing, and Favre was asked, what would your dad say about this whole thing? And Paschke asked Giannis, what would your dad say? What would your dad say to do throughout this whole thing? And I thought it was a good question, and Giannis responded by saying, go to an uncomfortable situation that allows you to grow and chase your dream no matter what. Go chase one golden trophy. And Giannis did admit that he's scared. He's scared of this because he said, quote, I'm scared of change. I'm scared that the grass is not always greener. I'm scared of, I have things here. People love me here. People respect me here. People allow me to be myself in the city. I'm scared I'll never have that again. So I appreciate the honesty from that. And I think that is something that is lost in this sports world, this 2026 era that we live in. He admits he's scared. He admits that the grass may not always be greener. And I think it is completely normal to be scared, but also maybe excited about an opportunity that is in front of him to go to the Heat, taking a risk. We talk about all the time in our normal lives, taking risks, whether it's maybe for your profession, for your job, or chasing your dreams or whatever. He's scared, but he's taking a risk. And I know some people are going to roll their eyes because like, oh, yeah, he's already making all these millions and all that risk. Stop. I appreciate the honesty that he is displaying, saying, hey, I like my privacy. Milwaukee gives that to me. Essentially what he said, I like being in a smaller market because they give me the privacy. I like all this stuff, and I'm worried about it, that I'm going to lose that. Well, that's a risk. And I could probably tell you right now, yeah, you're probably going to lose it. You're probably going to not have that ability. So the one other part, too, he talked a little bit about Jabari Parker. Flashback, remember 2014? With that draft, it was Andrew Wiggins. It was Jabari Parker. The Bucks had the second overall pick. And we all kind of assumed, like, the Timberwolves had the number one pick. They were going to get Wiggins. And I think we were all excited as Bucks fans. Hey, we're going to have a 1-2 punch of Giannis and Jabari Parker. And it didn't work out that way. Jabari suffered a lot of injuries. But Jabari still had a big impact on Giannis. Giannis said, I was able to measure myself against him. Every single day I said, okay, if he works 1 hour, I'll work 1.5. If he works 2 hours, I will work 2.5 every single day. I've never told him this, but he motivated me so much, motivated me to be so much better because he was so dang good. And finally, Paschke asked, would he consider it a failure if he doesn't win again? Now, remember, Giannis in 2023, after the Bucks were ousted from the playoffs, that famous failure quote speech that, drew some criticism, but also drew some praise, where he kind of said there's no failure in sports. Giannis responded by saying, if God tells me that one championship is what my journey is supposed to be, I am extremely blessed, and I will never question the things he has in store for me. I want a second one, and I believe I am capable of doing it. I think I've been blessed with incredible talent and incredible willpower to put the work in and chase that. If it doesn't happen, I won't look back and say, yeah, I failed. Everything's a part of a journey, and everything leads to something. So I would never look back and say, I failed. No way. So again, I think it is incredibly rare to see, after a franchise great, all-time great, who's traded, not retired, but traded. Yesterday, we saw an outpouring of a bunch of comments, posts, goodbye stuff that we rarely see. And I think if there was any doubt throughout this whole situation that, did Giannis really like Milwaukee? Did he really enjoy playing for the Bucks? Did he like that sort of stuff? Take about 30 minutes and watch that sit down with him, and you could tell. You could tell he's down that his time in Milwaukee is over with. I think he's excited about the future with Miami. But it's the end of a chapter, and it's the end of a chapter. Let's face it. Like he said, he came in 18. That's his home. That's where he has spent the majority part of, or a big portion of his life, 13 years. Married, kids there. Family all came over there. So it's a big change for this person. But like Jim Paschke said in the piece too, he's always going to be welcome back. He's always going to be welcome back. He's always going to be there. Maybe I'll play a little bit of a clip coming up here later on in that. But all right, let's take a quick break. let's switch gears here for a hot minute, and let's chat a little football. Every day, let's do a little bit of a countdown. Top storylines, top things to watch as we get set for Packers training camp. That'll be starting 3 weeks from tomorrow, inching a little bit closer and closer and closer. Some teams will start earlier than that, but Green Bay, we know, starts 3 weeks from tomorrow. So let's have a little fun with this one. Kind of get set towards the start of, I can't believe it, football season. All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back after these few words. Summer cookout season is here, and nobody does summer grilling better than Mike's Star Market in Eau Claire. From premium steaks and fresh burgers to brats and chicken, you will find quality and value throughout the store. Before your next cookout, stop by Mike's Star Market and stock up on the freshest ingredients around. You can visit them today at 2238 Heimstead Road, and make sure you follow their Facebook page as well. Mike's Star Market, helping make every summer gathering a memorable and delicious one. Had a chance to, last week, try their new bourbon brats. Chef's kiss. Awesome. They were awesome. So make sure you go and picked up a few different flavors over there. It's like a kid in a candy store if you're having me go through a butcher shop and seeing different flavors of brats, for crying out loud. So, but they were fantastic. Highly recommended. We're going to talk football, Packers football here in a second, but okay, this is something. So if you go to ESPN.com, there's an article up by Seth Wickersham, and it's an in-depth look at the Broncos' postseason run, as et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here's a nugget in this thing, which I find, well, amusing, interesting, like what sort of thing. Per Seth Wickersham, when Bill Belichick and the Patriots went their separate ways in 2024, Sean Payton considered presenting Broncos owner, I'm reading this from Adam Schefter's Twitter account, consider presenting Broncos owner Greg Penner a proposal for the ages. Hire Belichick as head coach until he reached 15 wins, enough to break Don Shula's career record of 347. Payton would temporarily step down to assistant head coach and run the offense, then move back after Belichick became the all-time leader. In the end, it was too complicated and maybe too fanciful. Now, that's if there's criticism with the Michael Strahan sack record for all those years when it was out there, okay? Well, Favre slid and took a dive and all. This one, I'm sorry, but if this were to happen, yes, they'd still have to win. Yes, that's probably going to take, 2 years to do that on average? So Belichick would have had to have been head coach for, let's say, on average, 1.5 years, 2 years. That would have just looked kind of, what's the best word to maybe describe that? No. But can you imagine if that happened? That thing would be talked about, and that thing would be scrutinized through the years, through the generations. I mean, wow. I guess maybe I'll find out, and I haven't read the piece, but I'm kind of curious, like, why Sean Payton thought about doing that or wanted to do that. Like I don't know. Because what would have happened? I'm just going to throw this out here for a little what if. What would have happened? Let's say, okay, you do that. Broncos go and win the Super Bowl. Who gets credited with the win for head coach? It's Belichick. It's not Sean Payton. So that would take a hit on Payton's legacy, because if Payton wins another Super Bowl as a head coach, that's going to improve his Hall of Fame chances in a crowded coaching class that there's still, in my opinion, quite a few players or quite a few coaches that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. So that's weird. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of curious. Like, is there a special relationship between Belichick and Peyton? I know they're Parcells guys, but is that the only thing? All right. So Packers will be starting training camp 3 weeks from tomorrow. Let's do a little bit of a countdown of the top storylines, the top things to watch as we get into training camp. Let's not bury the headline right away. One of the top ones, if not the top one, Josh Jacobs. What's the deal with Josh Jacobs? And the running back group behind him. It's a big question mark. Now, if you're wondering what's the latest, I mean, this is from wearegreenbay.com. The case remains open, according to the Brown County District Attorney's Office. No decision has been made on whether or not to criminally charge Jacobs for his role in the reported incident. That the investigation is still ongoing and that more information will be released should a charging decision be made by the district attorney's office. So this is usually one of the biggest storylines to follow into training camp, because if there are charges, then it really, I mean, if we look at it from just a football perspective, it puts a big question mark on the running back group, but also one of your better offensive players. So if it's not Josh Jacobs, you're putting your eggs in the basket of Marshawn Lloyd. How you feeling about that? How comfortable? I'm not feeling comfortable about it. I'm feeling great about it. Maybe he would actually be healthy and go out there and showcase the talent that I think a lot of people we know the kid's got talent. It's just it's very Garrett Mitchell like. Hasn't been able to stay healthy. Hasn't been able to showcase that. So if Josh Jacobs doesn't play this year or misses a significant amount of time, you really have some big question marks at that running back position, because you're going to be putting a lot of faith into Marshawn Lloyd, Chris Brooks, who to me is kind of like a Tony Fisher-esque third down back. You're going to need some help. And the fact that Green Bay hasn't done, now maybe they do it right before training camp. Maybe they bring in a veteran. We're starting to, maybe see some of these veterans. We saw Rasul Douglas signed with the Commanders yesterday. Honestly, with that deal, I wouldn't mind if it was Green Bay. But, for names who are available, you're looking at maybe a Joe Mixon. And a lot of these guys, their names, but they're banged up. They got a history or injury history. Najee Harris, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Nick Chubb, Ogunbowale. A lot of these guys, they are still free agents for a reason. And some of these guys, they're going to sign right before training camp, or they're going to sign within training camp. But I got to imagine Green Bay, and maybe the Packers know more. I'm sure they probably know more, right? I'm sure they probably know more about the situation. But if they don't, they're going to be holding their breath, because if you don't have Josh Jacobs this year for a team that's got Super Bowl goals and Super Bowl aspirations, that is a huge hit on the offensive side. And it changes the game plan of what they want to do on offense. Now, we were just kind of saying, too, yesterday, we were going through ESPN's top rosters. And they noted some of the analytics, some of the numbers out there show that maybe the Packers need to put the ball into Jordan Love's hands more. Well, if Josh Jacobs isn't playing, you're going to be forced to be putting the ball in the hands of Jordan Love more. So there's that thing. Maybe you take a page out of the 2007 Packers playbook. If you remember that season, before Ryan Grant emerged as the go-to running back that season, it was Brandon Jackson. And the Packers really couldn't get the running game going. What was the Packers running game? What was termed as the Packers running game? Do you remember? It was short passing game. 5 wide receivers, spreading it out. Getting the ball out of Favre's hands quickly. That was the Packers running game until Ryan Grant emerged. It was Donald Driver. It was Greg Jennings. It was Robinson. Remember Corn Robinson for a hot minute? James Jones. Just getting the ball out quick and letting them do some yak. I still remember the ESPN Sunday NFL countdown feature that they did on yak. That was the big topic that year for Green Bay. Yards after catch for these receivers. They were good at it. But remember that running back they tried going with, Deshaun Wynn, Morency, Brandon Jackson. It just, no. Until Ryan Grant emerged. So maybe that's a little bit, maybe it's, if they have to play without Josh Jacobs, do they incorporate a little bit of a quicker passing? I mean, you'd think with guys like Jaden Reed, Matthew Golden, heck, even Christian Watson, you got a Tucker Kraft in there, Savion Williams. You'd think you'd be able to do that. You might have to set up the pass to set up the run. But there's no question, running back group with the uncertainty surrounding Josh, running back group was probably going to be a topic or a storyline to follow, even if there wasn't anything surrounding Josh Jacobs, just because of the depth and the unknown about Marshawn Lloyd. But now you throw in the Josh Jacobs stuff, it is a big question mark heading into training camp. It is a huge question mark. These are your running backs. Get to know them. Outside of Josh Jacobs, we know Chris Brooks. We know Marshawn Lloyd, Damian Martinez, Jaden Nixon, Pierre Strong Jr. That's what you got right now. All right, so we'll continue kind of a countdown, top storylines, things to watch as we get to training camp up until, 3 weeks from tomorrow. So, all right, we got to take a quick break. Don't forget, send me your Toyson Ford at Grind My Gears. What's grinding your gears? Also, it is a, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying Tuesday. So I'm not saying blank, but I'm just saying blank. Best ones we'll read up on the air. So, all right, we'll take a quick break. Back with a whole lot more coming up after these few words. Looking for the perfect summer hangout? Well, then you need to make your way on over to the VFW Post 305 in Eau Claire. You can enjoy some beautiful views overlooking the river, some great food, cold beverages, and some of the best live music that you will find anywhere in the Chippewa Valley. Whether you're meeting some friends after work or spending a summer evening outdoors, the VFW Post 305 is the place to be. Great views, great music, great times, all happening at the VFW Post 305. Also, don't forget, thanks to our friends from AJM Automotive. They want to give a veteran an oil change for a year. Free oil change for a year. You can nominate that veteran by going to the VFW Post 305 on Star Avenue, 1300 Star Avenue. Go nominate that veteran over there. And a big thanks to our fine friends, John and AJM Automotive, for doing that to help out our veterans. So go nominate that veteran for free oil change for the year. So, all right, we got a few messages to get to here. We've got Zach on the video stream with a couple messages. Agree with you, Dan. Lloyd has a ton of talent, but we haven't seen it on the field yet. I would definitely be exploring options in free agency, like a Joe Mixon or a Chubb. You know what grinds my gears? I started a new career recently, and now I can't play in the Casper Classic. Gosh darn it. Dang it, Zach. No. Jobs. Congrats on the new career, though. So that's the big thing. Don't forget, we only have a few more spots left. So got to get on over to sportstalk1051.com, WAYYradio.com. Sign up right now. Just a few spots left in at 1 p.m. 10 a.m. is all sold out. We are looking for some more sponsors and definitely some raffle prizes, some raffle donations, because that's where our Backyard Dreams funds come from. So if you would be interested in donating a raffle prize to help out Backyard Dreams, please reach out. What else do we got? We got a few more messages to catch up on. This was from Dave a little bit earlier. Definitely would like to see Jet Williams get called up for the Brewers today. I think it's time to give him a shot to be the everyday starting at third baseman. And another texter, this was from Seth. Seth said with David Hamilton possibly being out for the next few weeks with a hamstring injury, I think the Brewers would be dumb to not call up Jet Williams. Let's see it happen. Brewers again, doubleheader today. We've got Jacob Misiorowski on the mound for Game 1. He's looking for his 10th win on the season so far. Looking maybe for a little bit of a bounce-back Game 2 after his loss in his previous start. So, yeah, if you look at the line, it's like, they only give it one earned run. If you followed along with the game and you get the game, or you were watching the game or whatever, listening to the game, it wasn't Misiorowski's best performance this year, giving up a couple of home runs too. He was off. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to every pitcher. But I think, I kind of said in the first hour, I've got the expectation, and I don't think it's putting a lot on his shoulders or getting my hopes up too high, but I've got the expectation that he's going to have a bounce-back game. I think if you're going to be the ace and you're going to be one of the best starting pitchers in Major League Baseball, that should be the expectation that, okay, you have a little bit of a down performance, you bounce back the next game. And you go out there and you have a little bit more of that vintage performance, that dominating performance that we've come to expect. And that's what I fully expect to see from Jacob Misiorowski today. Let's hopefully he does it. And he last time played the Cardinals. Cardinals were the one team in the month of May that gave him the only earned run. So maybe there's that extra motivation there too. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. What else do we got here? We got a few more texts. I'm trying to catch up on some of the messages here this morning. This is about Giannis. This is from Ben on our Shoe Doctors bullpen line. Ben saying, I am really going to be missing Giannis. That I watched that 30-minute video yesterday and got all the feels. What a great role model, and it was a pleasure to watch him suit up for our state basketball team for the last 13 years. Definitely is going to be missed. Did you see the part where he talked about Garnett coming back? I did see that part, too. I should bring that. Maybe I'll bring that up before the top of the hour. I'll look up that portion of the conversation here. But I did see him talk about Garnett coming back to like the Timberwolves and how he was welcomed back and such. I honestly believe that Giannis wants to play again for the Bucks at the end of his career. I feel like he feels like that would be the perfect bow to end his career. If he could come back to Milwaukee and finish his career. May not be at a high level. I mean, Garnett wasn't playing at an incredibly high level when he went back to the Timberwolves. But I think that would mean a lot to Giannis. And I honestly feel like that's a goal of his, is to somehow find a way back to Milwaukee and play again for the Bucks to wrap up his career. I truthfully believe that's what he'd like to do. Tell you what, let me find that. Let me find that clip. I'll take a quick break and I'll find that clip here. So, this I don't think this is. Yeah, that's the short version of it. All right, so I'll take a quick break. We got RJ Cardinal coming up next hour too, and I'm really curious, really anxious to get his thoughts on the Badgers' new athletic director. So RJ will be joining us at about 8:20 this morning for our Badger chat. Quick break, and we'll be right back to wrap up the second hour after these few words. Summer is almost here, and that means it's time to hit the road and something that you love. At Toyson Ford, you'll find summer is here. I shouldn't say almost here. It is here, man. At Toyson Ford, you'll find a great selection of new and pre-owned vehicles ready for every adventure. Looking for power, comfort, reliability? Hey, they've got it all. Backed by a team that's committed to making your car buying experience easy and stress-free. So whether it's a weekend getaway or your daily drive, make sure that you are riding in style this summer. Toyson Ford in Chippewa Falls, where your next journey begins. All right, so this is a little portion quick of the Giannis and Jim Paschke sit down. It's over 30 minutes, a little over 36 minutes, but this is a little portion of it from Giannis possibly talking about maybe coming back to Milwaukee at some point. So audio courtesy from, well, Giannis' own YouTube page.
I've played only in 2 teams in my life. I've been here 13 years in the team. Prior to the Bucks, I was there for 4 or 5 years. This is where I raised my family. This is where my kids were born. This is mine. This is my home. This is where I built all my memories. This is when I became who I am today. Some people talk to me in the street and they say, Giannis, always do what's best for your family and do what's best for you. You've done so much for the city. And I can remember the time where I was when we won the championship, and I've been waiting for this for 30 years.
They will always remember that.
Yeah.
That will never go away.
Yeah.
That will always be yours.
I'm scared, but I'm scared.
About?
I'm scared of change. I'm scared of change. I'm scared that the grass is not always greener. I'm scared of I have things. People love me here. People respect me here. People allow me to be myself here in the city, and I'm scared that I might never find that ever again. But it's something that I wake up every single day, and or even when I take my showers at night, and I think I'm like, maybe I've waited too long, and I see guys playing deep into the playoffs, and I think I'm like, okay, maybe if I switch teams and I go somewhere else and have a better opportunity, I can play deep in the playoffs. I can go try to chase another championship because I really want that. And I'm scared that maybe if I don't take that decision, that when I'm going to be 37, 38 years old, hopefully, and I'm retiring, I'm going to say, why you didn't take that risk? And people don't understand it's a risk.
It's a difficult place to be.
Yeah.
I would say that you could always come home.
That'd be awesome.
You've earned that. You'll always be welcomed here.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome if I can go and play and maybe come back. Kevin Garnett did the same thing. I saw this clip of him walking into the arena, and they gave him a standing ovation, and people till this day love him. And some people don't always.
They always will.
Yeah.
You've earned that.
Yeah.
They won't take that away from you.
All right, so that was just again a little bit from that conversation, a wide-ranging conversation between Giannis and Jim Paschke and such. And again, if you have 30-some minutes and you have not watched it, to kind of watch it, it's nothing like earth-shattering, nothing like big news breaking worthy or anything like that. But it's just, I think it's good to hear from the athlete himself, because how many times have we said that, can we just hear from so-and-so instead of, reports, and instead of sources, and instead of rumors or Reddit or Twitter, or what does he mean by unfollowing somebody on Instagram? We play this what if, or what does he mean, or what do they mean sort of thing. And it's kind of rare. It is rare to hear from the source themselves throughout a decision, throughout a move like this. This is a magnifying move from a franchise and from its star player. And so the fact that Giannis sat down for over 30 minutes to talk to, Jim Paschke, who's retired, but again, if you kind of know the history and the relationship, I mean, Giannis loves Jim Paschke and was really close with him and that. So obviously probably wanted to do it with Jim and just have that comfort level and all that sort of stuff. But to be able to have a guy of Giannis's stature to kind of put it all out there and kind of be open with what's going through his mind, decision process, and all that sort of stuff. We clamor as fans. We ask these athletes to be more open, to be more honest, to speak. And how many times did we say throughout this process, we just want Giannis to say something, speak, come out. What do you really want? Tiptoe around it. And there were at times, I'll admit, during this season, I wish he talked more, or wish he was a little bit more open about everything and just more, just kind of say what you really want. It went a little bit back and forth. So with this whole thing, with that video clip, I think it was a cool gesture on his part to just sit down and put it all out there. And I do truly believe that he would love to come back to Milwaukee and wrap up his career as a Buck. Maybe play the last couple of years. Probably won't be, a star player. Maybe he's still playing at a high level when he's 38, 39. Who knows? We don't know. But I think if he was presented with that opportunity, he would love it. The question would be, would the Bucks do it? Would the Bucks do something similar to what, he referenced Kevin Garnett? Now, you had ownership stuff, and that was kind of a little bit maybe different, and, other issues with that whole thing. But still, I think if presented with that opportunity, Giannis would love to be able to do that. He also he said this: the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin, I want them to remember this from me. Don't worry about the basket. Don't worry about the championship. Don't worry about the wins. Don't worry about the losses. I tried to be like them. I believe the city of Milwaukee is blue collar. It's people that work extremely hard every single day. They give all their hard-earned money just to come watch the Milwaukee Bucks, to come and feel something, to come to be a part of us. I hope that I was able to represent them the best that I could. And I was like them. I showed up to work. I did everything. I was willing to do all the dirty work just like them. I hope that bringing a trophy to the city meant something to them, because it meant so much to me. I want you to hear this from my mouth. The city of Milwaukee will always be in my heart. This is my home, and this is a place that I had my kids. My mom is here. My father is here. My brothers played here. It made me the man that I am today. That will never, ever change. No matter where I am, Milwaukee will always be my city, my team, my family. So there I have it. Kind of, I think, a good bow tie and a good wrap up to the Giannis era in Milwaukee. And now we look to the future, and it's a big unknown of what this Bucks team is going to look like, not only for this year, but what this team is going to look like for the coming years. All right. Coming up in about 20 minutes, we're going to talk some Badgers. We'll talk some Badgers with Mr. RJ Cardinal. Really curious, interested to get his insight, his opinion on the new Badgers athletic director. What are his thoughts? What side? It feels like a lot of Badgers fans on one side, they don't like it because they look at his tenure as Nebraska's athletic director. The other side, they like it. He's a Barry Alvarez guy. He's a Wisconsin guy. He played football at Whitewater, so you're bringing in a Wisconsin guy. Maybe there's a small portion in the middle that's kind of, I don't know how to feel, and that's honestly where I'm at this whole thing. So I'm curious to get RJ's thoughts on that. He's going to be joining us in about 20 minutes. We're halftime. We're going to take a quick break. We got some news updates, and we'll kick off the third hour. Continue to send me your Toys Ford Grind My Gears Tuesday and your I'm Not Saying, but I'm Just Saying. Best ones we'll read up on the air. But we'll be right back in just a couple minutes.